Hey guys, Dragon2000 here with my Undefeated Swordsoul Deck Profile. I've been taking this list to locals for the last couple of weeks. I think you've seen my last week's rendition of the deck, but I made a few minor edits to the deck and it went undefeated in the 3v3 event at our locals. Our team ended up winning the entire event, which was pretty nice. I think we'll just start with the list. So, Swordsoul obviously is a pretty simple deck, to be honest. Like in terms of deck building, so we played 3 Ecclesia, we played 3 Moyi, we played 3 Long One, 2 Taya, 3 Emergence, and 1 Blackout for the Swordsoul package. I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. You want to be maxing out like pretty much all your engine, Taya being the worst one. Obviously, the deck's crazy in time as well with Long One, and yeah, the Swordsoul cards are mainly there to provide interruptions and not actually push through interruptions with the board. Long One is probably the only like good Swordsoul for pushing through a board, since Chinging plus a Tenyi is also really strong in like forcing out multiple interruptions, and non-targeting banishing is also extremely strong. Also adding on is the protection effect, which also comes up. But yeah, the Swordsouls aren't really used as like a way to push through interruptions. You have to remember that. You have to sequence your cards extremely well with this deck. And essentially use your Tenyis as a way to force out interruptions, and then use your Swordsouls to clean up the board and set up negates afterwards. For the main part of the deck and like how this deck breaks boards is the Tenyi cards. So we try to max out on these. So we played 3 Ashina, 3 Vishuddha, 3 Ardara, and then I play Heavenly Dragon Circle and the Shitana package because the Heavenly Dragon Circle is crazy. Like, it's like similar to Flutterweeze's quick play spell, where basically your opponent tries to negate Moyi, you chain Heavenly Dragon Circle, tributing the Moyi, searching Shitana. Moyi resolves summoning the token, then you can just Shitana to summon, and then synchro summon to any synchro 8, allowing you to basically dodge interruptions, continue play, and play through negations essentially, which makes the Tenyi stuffs even better because on the follow-up turn you can use this to search Tenyi monster and push through even more interruptions. What's great about this is the dodges Salak, which came up in my last match against Elements, because he had Salak and Rider Heart on the field. I had Moyi, a combination of Tenyis and other stuff. Obviously, I used the Tenyis before that to push through the board, but then afterwards, when I finally went into my Swordsoul stuff, being able to normal summon Moyi, dodge the Salak with Heavenly Dragon Circle, and continue playing was incredible because I dodged a negate, I stopped him from playing his engine, and then I'm essentially able to set up a board where he can't win anymore because he's left top decking with nothing in hand since he's used halfness already. So it was really good for me. Honestly, if you're not playing Heavenly Dragon Circle on this list in Swordsoul Tenyi, you're kind of throwing, because this, quite honestly, is like one of the best cards you can play in the deck. Then we'll move on to like the generic like staples and going second cards. So we're playing 2 Desires, 1 Cosmic, 3 Dark Roller No More, 3 Chalice, and 3 Infinite Impermanence. So I went for more going second cards than I did for like going first, like as about the Impermanence, Chalices, and Dark Ruler. The reason I went for this is I felt like going first, you never really want to go first with this deck, honestly. Like, you actually just kind of want to go second, because breaking a board and winning is the best way to win with this deck. Going first is, with so many hand traps and board breakers in the format at the moment, Swordsoul struggles because your 1-2-1 trades aren't really that strong. Like, if Moyi resolves, you're winning, but if you get, like, anything hit on Moyi, you're struggling a lot in terms of pace in the game. So you lose a lot of resources playing. So going second, your opponent uses the resources in their hand, they use resources in their deck to middle their board. You use 1 to 2 interruptions, like you use Dark Ruler to out the board, for example, or you use Chalice or Imperm to weaken their end board. And then 2 Tenyis, but it has to be like 2 Tenyis with Ashina as one of them, essentially cracks any board, because you can stop one of the key negates or key interruptions, then use 2 Tenyis to just wipe up the rest of the board, force out other interruptions in the hand or in graveyard like Snow, which is now banned, thankfully. And essentially crack the board, go into your sorts of stuff, and then again win the game, which is something you have to notice. Like, remember, like, you want to use your sorts, your Tenyi stuff to bait out interruptions, then use your sorts of stuff to win the game. Desires and Cosmic's pretty straightforward. I mean, like, Mystic Mine didn't get banned. For as long as there's Mystic Mine in the format, I'm going to be mainly decking at least one Cosmic, even in Swordsoul, where, you know, it's not, Mystic Mine is less of a problem with Blackout, Heavenly Dragon Circles to level modulate your field, not level modulate your field. And then Pot of Desires because it draws 2. You lose resources in the deck, yes, but ideally you should always win the game turn 3, and that's why we don't mind banishing like a few Tenyis in the process. However, if you do go in a grind game, drawing desires becomes kind of a drag, and it becomes like worse for your engine. For the extra deck, we play 3 Monk. I had thought of cutting this down to 2, but I feel 3 comes up so much, and it comes up in grind games, and it comes up in situations when you need to go in 2 Monk in turn 1 for like tire plays, when you have like a suboptimal hand, so that it warrants playing 3. You also have 2 extra decks, like 2 extra deck tech slots, and Monk is the one I like, and one of the Monks is the extra deck tech slot I've chosen. We play Shaman. This is crazy. If you get like interrupted several times, you can then do, if your opponent nibs you, and you have Ashina plus like Ardara in graveyard, you can still actually set up Draco Berserker. You can still set up Shaman to summon back Tyre to summon Draco Berserker of the Tenyi after being nibbed in certain hands, which is crazy. And Shaman's just good in general. It has it also has that secondary effect where if you have a normal monster and you attack with it, you can pop a card, which also comes up in certain situations. And overall, it's just a really strong card and helps make a lot of weird hands or board states playable. We then play 5 Synchro 10s, Baron de Floor, Cheng-Ying, and Evil Long One. I mean, this is self-explanatory. I think this is pretty standard in every sort of list. You need Baron in the game. Cheng-Ying is good for going for game, and Chi-Cha Long One when you want to be a little bit more greedy. Draw 2 cards because maybe you're going first against a deck like Tia. You drew a lot of engine, but you did not draw enough going first cards, and you need to draw multiple going first cards to win, I feel, against Tia. So, like, you want to be drawing into your rivalries, your Gozens, not your Gozens. You'll be wanting to draw your rivalries, your anti-spells, and this helps you dig deeper into your deck for that. We also play 2 Chi-Chao and Draco Berserkers for our, like, level 8 synchros, not including the Marxius. But, I mean, this is pretty, again, self-explanatory. Chi-Chao, Negate, Searcher, crazy card. Draco Berserker because it's like the next best synchro 8 that you can play in this deck, and it's a Tenyi monster. It also comes up that because it's a Tenyi monster, you can actually link Draco Berserker into a Monk. Had that happened to me in a game before, which is kind of weird that it actually happened. Then we play Chow Feng because against the light deck, you instantly win the game if you make this card. We play Bucks. It also helps play around them as well. That's kind of the bigger point why you play it. We play 2 Baxia. You could play 3, but I'm playing opting to play another tech in the deck. I mean, this card's also just crazy. Spend 2. Summon back something from graveyard, like a Moi or Ardara to go into Chow Feng and just like push through interruptions, which is great. Yazi because emergence can reduce the level of Tyre and essentially start breaking the board with emergence and Tyre, and then get access to Moi, and it's just crazy. And then finally, this last card is Psychic and Punisher. Honestly, you could probably play a 3rd Baxia over this card, but I actually really like it. It's come up in a few games where unaffected big guy is just like really strong, and your opponent can't actually out it sometimes, and it gives you enough turns to like draw into more engine and then win the game from there. From the side deck, obviously, like, you can play anything you like, but I've just opted to choose cards suited for my local level, and what I feel will be best suited for this format. So I just made this change from last week where I played Gamma, 3D Decro, as like the hand traps that I'm siding in when I'm going. I know I'm going second. I play Harpies, Cosmic, and Red Reboot as my back row hate. You have Blackout, as like a searchable backer out. You don't really need too much backer hate. Red Reboot is banned, so this will become just another generic piece of backer removal. It could be maybe another copy of Anti-Spell because I'm only playing the one copy, but it wasn't banned until at the event last week. It never drew it anyway, so it didn't come up, so that's fine. But yeah, you could probably just replace this with anything. You could replace it for the second Anti-Spell, or yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty self-explanatory as well, actually. And then we play for Floodgates, Anti-Spell, Rivalry, and that's it. I mean, again, Floodgates win you the game. Rivalry just houses Elements and Spright, which are like the main decks you want to be worried about. And being able to draw 2 with Evil Long One is crazy going first, because that means you're more likely to see these going first cards. Again, probably just cut the Red Reboot for another Anti-Spell. You don't really need that much back row hate. We're already maining 1 Cosmic as well. Like, if you're having trouble with back row, just put more. It's fine. Like, the side deck is up to you what you want to play. Otherwise, that's it for the list. Thank you for watching, and like and subscribe.